Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Corolla. Pleased to meet you. I'm a soul mender. I'm just doing a quick update on everything that's going on around the world. We're going to discuss different healing modules. How can we balance ourselves back into what's going on in life and stuff like that. Hang on, just this a little bit. There we go. Beautiful. So, yes. First, housekeeping. So if anyone contacts you with fake IDs, I do not contact anyone. I do not send you messages for readings. I do not do that, and I don't collect money. Whatever I'm doing is for free, and it's for entertainment purposes only. I do most of my work on Facebook. So that's where most people can find me. I run a lot of things on Facebook. So I'm only doing this so we can help humanity evolve. So today I want to proudly announce that being the soul mender, that my deck, the Oracle deck, the Looking Glass, is doing very well. And it's a beautiful deck. So in the future, I'm going to come on YouTube and do some unpacking on how to read the deck and stuff like that. I will be doing some readings with that deck. I also will be looking at a lot of issues in the world and what it really means to be an observer, getting involved in the drama or doing that kind of stuff. So to me, it's about looking at everything and how we can step our energy up, not to be in that awful energy or in the energy that I feel is making a movie showing us a lot of things that are really going on. So I'm just going to do a quick gong to clear out our energy. All right. So also is I like promoting books that I've read and really love. So one of them is Archangel Michael, which has beautiful to improve your life with help with Archangel Michael, and it has beautiful verses and it has connection, how to connect to angels. I work a lot with Archangel Michael because it's a really cool energy, and the sword energy, and how to basically get rid of energies that are not meant for you. So also there's a really good book out called Reportage, which is an essay on the New World Order by James Corbett. It is really interesting. Okay, then one read I really thoroughly like is The Gods of Eden by William Bramley, and a really old book which I come across, someone very dear to me. It's Friedrich Nietzsche, because I was born in Germany but moved to Australia in the 70s, Beyond Good and Evil. And this has a lot of phases in it. So this book was written by I believe he was born in Leipzig in 1844. So this book was written, translated in 1973, basically. And it has the free spirit, the religious nature, maximum of intellects and stuff like that in it. So it is a quite interesting book. So I'm not sure if you can still buy it. Back in those days, it was $13.12. So that's quite interesting. So I love reading books like that. So they're pretty cool. So it's very interesting. Also, my magical bean deck it's just about sold out, so there's not much left. I only got about 2 decks left of that. So but it's a beautiful deck to read with. I've done this as a collaborative deck with other people, so that's wonderful, where there's a lot of people of us get together with our publisher, who I have a very amazing publisher, and I can't thank her enough of the journey that I have been taken on, so that So a little bit about myself. I am a medium, a psychic. I do some remote viewing, and I also channel. So since 2020, just before then, I was doing a lot of work on stargates, vortexes, looking into the looking glass kind of stuff, into the quantum field and how things work. So I'm a kind of person that really wants to know a lot about energy, how it works, how can we better ourselves as a human being, how can we do better on this place that we call Earth, because we're very destructive here at the moment, and it's not very healthy. And it's not very healthy for many human beings because there's too much overload on toxic energy, manipulation on energy and stuff like that. So I'm going to do the Oracle Looking Glass deck first. So we're going to go into the energy of basically, as I'm in Australia, I do more on my own country than other countries, but I can do any other countries. Is let me know, right? But there's so much interesting things going on even in this country, is because we had some attacks in one of the shopping centres with machetes, but they blame the machete, not the human that did it. So to me is, why is it so hard to just say that these people came to Australia and they're using a machete? Because that's probably what they did in their own country. Who knows, but the weapon needs a user for you to use it. And it's with anything, whether it's cards, whatever, a gun, whatever it is, it has a user at the end of it. And we need to address that it actually has a user, not buttercup all this shit up. It doesn't happen that way, okay? So we'll see how we go with all that. Anyway, let's go deep into, so I'll do world energy first. Then what is the world energy telling us in this moment in time? I will hold the cards up. I might be able to put it down a bit, but might not be able to see the cards properly because it does glare. So, okay. So what is the world energy? What is it showing us to move out of? How we go like that? What is the world energy? All right, let's go. All right, the first card I pulled is frequency control. So we're pretty much in a frequency control. I'm just going to lay all the cards down, right? We'll do 6 first. And then I will talk about the frequency control. Okay, that's done. Beautiful. Let me have a drink of my coffee. So, frequency control. Frequency control is when your mind and your body is affected by the hidden frequency that technology is throwing at us, like sonar energy, weapon energy, distort perception. So we as humans need to clear our field so the soul cannot be programmed. Remember that and they're trying to steal your freedom away to program us. So this beautiful card is frequency control. So this is what's happening all over the world. And you can see that with CERN and things like that. And it's supposed to change your energy. So how do we counteract this? It's very interesting. So I tried many different things. So I use a lot of copper, like a copper healer. You can pull energy out with this, right? I also wear a Tesla plate, which is around my neck here, that cuts out EMF, and also have my black one that does it as well. But also I found that you can buy EMF blankets, sheets, and you can cut them up and make them whatever is. So we've cut some up and put them in our beds underneath, your mattress or wherever you want to put them. And so when you're sleeping and they're trying to manipulate the frequency, you can put that under your bed and it stops it. And then you start dreaming again. also on the bed I have a grounding sheet, which I find very beautifully. And during the day, I actually wear patches by a beautiful company called LifeWave. So, and I've been wearing them for quite a while, and they're beautiful. So there's things that you can do. Also, I have got, so if you see these beautiful things, they're magnetic. They're very they're very magnetic, right? So when I do meditations or anything like that, I hold one in each finger to rebalance my magnetic field. Or you can rub them over and you can rebalance your magnetic field, which is very important because it rebalances you basically. So, and it's really important for you to be balanced on this earth plane because you're here to experience so many different things. And people always talk about that. Do we live in a dome? Do we live with water over us? The earth is flat. The earth is this. All I can say to that is as an observer is in the experience that I'm doing, a lot of history is false. So that's all I know. I do have a lot of books here of older history. So because I've been tarot reading since I was about 16, I actually have a lot of old books on it. And there weren't many around when I was younger, but it has a lot of history in it. So tarot has been made to basically show you how to balance your body. It's just people made it evil, which it's not. It's actually everything about your body. I can go into that a little bit, in another session as we're doing this in a moment. Okay, so I'm going off track. So anyway, beautiful. Okay, so we're getting fat. Here's a great sellout. So they sold. The great sellout in all this is because we're looking at the world energy is they basically took money for everything and do not care that we're human beings. They basically don't care. So to me, a great sellout is they sell everything for money. That money is the only important thing on this earth plane, which is not, right? So because you can't eat it. But the truth was traded for control. Systems, aliens, tech, and AI create dependency. So they have created stuff so you depend on other things than your inner knowing, your inner self, your higher frequencies. So that's what we're up against in a moment. So see beyond the deception. So it is a journey. So our next site is a deceiver. So they come in many different forms. Okay, a deceiver. So on a political level, I don't take sides with politics because basically is a man thinks different than the woman how to do things. And when females sell themselves out to act like a man, it's not very healthy. So to me, politics is all controlled by humans and someone's controlling the string basically. So it doesn't matter where in politics until I can see that they're actually doing something for humanity and something better instead of trying to sell you all this rubbish. I believe that we need to see what everything is about and make our own conclusion on politics. Okay, so there's no right or wrong way. It is where you're at and where I'm at. Is this? I like to have a balanced view that everything is here for a reason, and they're showing you very, very much in a moment how corrupt they all are, how corrupt the system is, I should say, not the people. Some people are very beautiful people in there. There's this lost in the system, and they're struggling really hard to show you a certain way of what's going on. So there's many deceivers in there, okay? And we need to say no to it. It is time to stand up for ourselves and say no and slam the door shut, try to learn how can we go without that system, how we can support each other in different ways. Okay, and the next card is the truth. The truth will be revealed. So all the truth that is coming out, have a look at it. Stop thinking it's bullshit. Stop thinking it's not right. The truth is the truth. You can't they manipulate truth into lies. Yet many prefer to believe a lie because they're too afraid to look at the truth. But that's your inner journey as well. How do you look at the truth within yourself? How do you understand yourself? Where is your journey going if you believe everyone else and then find out it's a lie, and then you feel like you've been stabbed so many times in the heart, and it's very hard. So, and the truth seeker, and this is where we're at. We're seeking the truth on everything, okay? The truth is there for us to see. How you perceive it is your journey. How you understand it is your journey, because everyone sees the truth through their eyes. So no one can tell you how to see the truth, because how you see something is not how I see something. I'm just guiding you to look at it through your eyes. Okay? Does that make sense? Thank you. It did make a lot of sense to me. So next. So that's the energy that we're learning from in this world. Now, I've been asked to do a reading on Elon Musk and Donald Trump. It's very amusing in a moment is to me is what's going on teaching you. Okay, we won't go into there what it may be, what it is not, but what is going on between two people. What are they actually showing you, both of them, right? When someone doesn't agree with something and then goes on the little spat and stuff like that, is what is it actually showing you? How do you mature your soul to understand that, to balance your view, basically? Okay, let's have a look at that energy. What's going on with Elon Musk and Donald Trump? All right, there's a manufactured war here. So basically, it's by design, right? So it was manufactured, basically, made up, manufactured. There's an identity crisis. Where do I belong in this? How do I see myself in this? Okay, that's an identity crisis. How do I find who my inner, is it my ego? Is it, in my heart space? No, an identity crisis is, I don't, balance in who you are, basically. All right, we'll go back into that. There's extra money. So remember, this there, which they saved by doing what they did, right? So I'm not doubting that. So to me, the identity crisis. So when you work in the government or something like that, in a big corporation or something, it's like you always feel imprisoned, right? That all these rules are there, you have to obey by. It's not, you can't make your own rules up. It's okay, hey, here it is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I do. Okay. There are also deceivers in there. So something has been deceived in there to look like what is going on. Okay. So, and the reflection of betrayal again. Okay. So is there any other things you want us to know about that journey? So there was soul traits. Okay. So in the energy of that, there's many people that have been in that house or in that energy where they traded their soul. Okay. I'm not saying that they did. I'm just saying around So because I don't want to cause conflict anywhere, right? So that many people have traded their soul, right? There's an identity crisis in that country around all this now. The manufacturers' war is so he say, you say, me say, and there's wars going on that have been manufacturers which came from that country because they sell the weapons, obviously, as well. The imprisonment. So any country that goes to work has an imprisonment. They feel, can you imagine you have family and you live in this country and you're getting bombed like continuously and you have children and the trauma it causes and all that kind of stuff. And it doesn't matter whose side you're on, it's just very traumatic. And it feels like that you can never get out of this prison. And the same feeling goes to that administration that's in power is there's so many rules there that you can't reach outside of that in a moment because everything has its timing to unwind. First of all is with the soul trade, we need to take our sovereignty back to basically stand in our own power again and take that back, whether it is the Trump administration, the Elon, the clones, whatever you want to call it, right? Whoever runs that show, their sovereignty is very important and the trust of the people is very important because in one way or the other, humanity always needs to be guided for some reason. And sometimes we have very terrible guidance and there's so many human hurting other human beings on this earth plane and there's so many people out there throwing other people under the bus. And this is what this energy is showing you. When are you going to stop throwing other people under the bus because you have a different belief system, whether it's religious, whether it's your banking, your this, your that, your what food you eat. Understanding humans is very complex because of how we think and how, like, if you're looking on a male perspective, a male is a fixer who just wants to, oh yeah, this needs fixing, right? But there's not that much emotion attached to it because they want to fix it. When you go into the feminine energy, it's a nurturer who wants to nurture everything to be fixed. So, but the man thinks the woman can't do that because for some many years ago, an ego set in that we need to control everything. And in that way, the feminine energy has lost a lot of power and has been very disrespected. So if you know what I mean. So it's about taking the power back of everything. Now I'm going to do a quick reading on AI on this situation as well, how much AI has to do. So I've got an AI tarot deck that I'm going to use. It's not mine, but it's called the Shadow Run. So we're going into the Shadow Run of AI. See, to me, technology is a gift that has always been on this earth. So the creation of it, everything you see is always returning. It always has a comeback. It's quite lovely, actually. So I think it's quite interesting how we can see, like, since the Mayan calendar stopped, look at the time warping and what CERN did to the time. It actually cracked, and being a psychic, it's you can see and travel into more dimensional things which they don't realize that they actually did. So it's quite interesting, actually. So there's a lot of things they think they're trying to pull this darkness in, but it actually is allowing the light to shine onto the darkness, and I find that really amazing. Like, can you imagine that beautiful light you have within you, this shine? Take your sovereignty back. Stop feeling lost because you're not lost. It's an experience. So yeah, it's quite interesting. So anyway, back to this. AI, what do you have to tell us of what's going on in the AI camp around the world? Let's have a look. Interesting. So I will do it's a bit similar to what I got here, but I'll do an AI one. Okay. All right. We'll do these 6 cards first. So we have the Knight of Batons. So if you can see how violent that card actually is, okay, they're basically attacking anything, anyone. There's a lot of races that abuse other people because they think they have a right to do so. Yet there's no unity. So in an AI world it's a perfect world to take over a lot of things because everyone's fighting among each other instead of understanding that you've been played to, and manipulated to believe that is humanity needs to unite with this energy. So it's quite interesting is here's an angel watching in the background up there, up on top there, if you can see it. It's there, all right. And it goes, oh my gosh. Then we have the butterfly effect, Mandela effect, which is glitching in our world. We also have a person with red shoes on. We all know, I won't go too deep into that, but we all know what that stands for. But there's people in the background with this hand fighting for freedom, fighting to expose it all. So this warrior that's sitting there, right, is showing us that he is coming for the people in the red shoes, right? He is not supporting this. He has his hand up. And then on the side here, we have a darker energy, right? Where that's basically, but there's a light in that darker energy. If you have a look, right, just here on this side here, it goes that way. Okay. Just on that side here, right? There's a light there, right? So the light is already going into it. So whatever's going on underground, the light is shining on it, and the light brings a lot of healing with it, exposure, healing, and stuff like that. So, and here is the mind imprisonment, the mind control, right? How are you going to step out of the mind control when you're on this device continuously? How are you going to step out of that puppet mind control tool, right? The 3 of Batons. So this is an energy coming in. So it is up to us to understand that all that killing that's going on, all that taking over, that, and if you can see up here, there's a dragon flying in there as well, is that even that is so much is controlled by AI, but someone is holding that thing on AI and make, do you know what I mean? A lot of people say, oh, what if AI takes over and this kind of stuff? And look, it's better not, to me, is that's fear-based as well, because AI, in my belief, has been here basically since alchemists did a past life, and in my alchemist past life, that tools were already here, and there's many alchemists that are here on this earth plane that once were alchemists that haven't stepped back into their power of that yet. So it's quite interesting. So we have the 3 of Blades. There's the 3 of Swords. So swords are very mental cards, right? But there's a lot of like people getting taken out. There's warning signs. There's glitches. I also feel one of the CERN is going to get attacked by this. It's something needs to be cleaned up there because they're up here on this side here. It's going to get, if you can see, so it's because it's sending out fake signals and things like that. And also the Six of Batons. So the Six of Batons are obviously the grounding, but this is actually about selling organs to the world. It's a lung restaurant. It's there, plain to see. Right, and the vampiring of blood and things like that. So there's a lot going on in this card. I won't go too deep into it, but it's quite interesting how much you get out of it, no matter what cards you read. Is some cards, it's just beautiful. I have my favorite decks, so this is when I go into the shadow land more, so if you can understand that. But everything that you see, we can heal, you see, and that is the most important thing. So and I've been asked a lot of questions, so because I do that on Facebook, and I've been asked, like, a lot of people send me questions when I will do a live and stuff like that. So I'm going to go and pull some inner child cards to lighten the load. So these are so cute. Like, what message for the inner child? What message does the inner child need to hear right now? So I'm going to pull different ones. On the male energy, what does the inner child need to know? The odd sog, right? So basically, to me, is it's number 44, rebalancing, the looking at everything, even that it's odd, is understanding and taking your masculinity back a little bit here to rebalance it. That the energy shouldn't, it's working on your energy center, basically. So it's quite cool. Then I'm going to do the unconditional love. That's how they're going to fix it, with unconditional love for oneself. So a lot of males need to step back into their beautiful energy, which is beautiful. All right, the feminine energy. What do we have for the feminine energy? The star guidance. See, I feel that a lot of us, because we're star beings and we're visiting here to rebalance a lot of things, I think it's a beautiful card to looking out through the dimensions, working with dimensional energy, pulling the healing in through dimensional energies and stuff like that. I think it's beautiful. So there's a guidance there with the star for the feminine energy. And I got vote. Be decisive what you want. Right? So to me is that makes a lot of sense on the term of, if you have a look, is so there's be decisive, number 11. So it's a master number. And being an inner child energy is, so many women throw each other on the bus and destroy them. How about holding up the crown and helping them? How about helping each other? There's so much balancing to do in this world. It's quite incredible. So I don't know. All right, now we do the children. What does the children in the energy tell us? Tenderness. Bring back tenderness. And they're so curious, right? So explain curiosity, allow them to learn. Don't box children in. So that's all the messages from the inner child. And with the children is, children have such innocence, especially at a young age, is don't go mental and ballistic at them, explain, go down to their level and really explain why they shouldn't do certain things and do things, and be really balanced human beings, you know. So I think that's really important too. So hang on, I'll just send my daughter a message. Okay, beautiful. So now we're going back into, how long we know? Yeah, we've got a few seconds to learn a little bit more. So I'm trying to fit YouTube channels in here and there because I'm very, very occupied sometimes because I work full time as well. I've only got a couple of days and one of the days I'm always fully booked out with reading. So I'm trying to fit everything in. So it's quite interesting. So, all right, next, we're in Australia, but we want to learn how our soul. All right, will Australia clean up the mess that we are in? Will someone be held responsible, basically? Let's have a look. So we have a lot of stolen generations here in Australia, and we need to really heal that energy. And that's from even the people that got brought here by boats from overseas. So there's many generations that has happened to. They're feeding digital breadcrumbs to them. I'll get back into that. But they are on track, like the generations, to don't they? A lot of them have been ghosted. Then we have the spellbound, and I'll go into all that. And the last card is drama detox, right? And then I pulled another one to top that one. So the stolen generation card speaks of generational pain, which needs to be released, obviously, systematic abuse, the silence that was around the wounds, and the healing comes through awareness, justice, and voice. Break the cycle, protect the future through truth. So for us, for so many humans that have so many wounded energy holding, and you can see it play out in very heaps of people. So bringing that back and bringing yourself home to yourself and really concentrating on healing you, the victimhood has to stop. So basically it's about not taking everything from everyone, is you sitting there and healing it and understanding it, and then help the next person to heal, and the next person and the next person. The digital breadcrumbs is what you've been fed over history, right? So the data holds evidence that, you know, AI, so whatever gets put in AI sometimes can be a deception because someone else is putting it in there, but the proof is still there because you're holding that frequency, because what's hidden will always return, because it needs to come out, and it's all coming out because we are on track of healing it, because we are lifting our energies, we are rising up above all this. So we are on track, and the situation is resolving. You're exactly where you're meant to be, and that's why you see this crazy world in a moment where people trying to manipulate the energy because they don't want you to remember. But remember your frequency, it's within you, right? And many have put a system up of ghosting the real issue. The real issue is healing and working together and loving one another and being kind, and start understanding that, you know, we are not your enemy and stuff like that. So there's a lot to heal here, and a lot to understand, and don't ghost people, or just because someone wants to understand was long ago, and in past generations. We have to really let, it was not to ghost that energy, is because we need to change this earth plane. There's too much violence on this earth, too much murders, too many stolen people, too much all this kind of stuff that shouldn't really is there. So let's do the right thing and heal it, okay? And let's expose what's the truth. Right? It's not hidden anymore. It's all out there. Look at the clips I saw of people using, powders and shit like that. Come on, they're supposed to be in high up places. Why is nothing happening about it? How come no one's held accountable in any of the countries for everything that gone on? And the people that try to change it got out of misery, boom, they're gone, right? If you know what I mean. Right. The spellbound. So the spell on earth, it's called, so this card isn't, it is basically you may be under an energetic manipulation. So the hexes, the spells, the attachments that are very active. Reclaim your sovereignty. Speak freedom, not fear. Break the influence now. Your words and powerful. Your words are very powerful and sacred. So it's about stepping up and allowing yourself to go back into your power. And, enough is enough. We just have to find a way to change what's going on, basically. So it's quite interesting. And then drama detox, become the observer instead of, detox from all the drama that's going on around you in the world. Sit quietly, at least 10 minutes a day. Let your body recoup, re-energize your frequency, re-energize yourself. It is very important, okay? So, and in Australia, it's very important. All right, what else do they want us to know? So here in Australia, we're going to have eventually there's extra money coming around. I was talking about Gesara Nasara. I have a video back a long time ago explaining where that came from. So this has nothing to do with Gesara Nasara. I never thought Gesara was a creation. I believe what they're withholding from you is yours from birthright anyway, right? So it's something that belonged anyway. So if you know what I mean. So if we concentrated more of the energy, as the masks are falling off everywhere, even here, there's a lot going to go down here in Australia because there's a lot of inner fighting, right? And the masks are falling off. The awakening, whatever you want to call it, I just call it aligning it back into the beautiful energy of where we're meant to be. They have a lot of advocates still here, so they're still planting not nice things. So, but if we go back into the goddess code, that be the energy, the kindness, the loving energy of everything is, and everything they did here is a setup. Okay, they set it up to be like that, basically. So we have to get our sovereignty back, our goddess energy, not to look down on the feminine energy because it's a very healing energy, if you know what I mean. So anyway, we go back, and then the false narrative that is out there, right? So this is what is going around in Australia, right? So you have been sold a lie. The official story is cracked. Misinformation hides truth. Question everything. Illusion depends on distraction. Turn off the noise. Your knowing was never wrong. And with the setup, someone has staged the downfall. Lies, framing, or manipulation. And it's going on everywhere, is where people are getting framed for things they didn't do. It's a setup. It was manipulated. So in this world we need to look beyond the setup. What is actually going behind the setup? Who did it? Why did they do it? What is the drama behind it? why are they so egotistical that they have to be seen higher up and things like that? So it's about all taking your sovereignty back. So that's me done for today. I hope all this makes beautiful sense. I will send this over to Facebook in a minute so my Facebook people can see it. So with all that said, hopefully I have time to do another one video soon and helping and I wish you all the best, and I hope this channel grows, and I send you much love and blessings, and you stay grounded, you stay in your power, and you're very, very loved. No matter what you're going through in this time and in this life, we're all going to be okay. Okay? Just remember that. Lots of love.